So can you tell us how much weight that you've lost?
I've lost about 70 pounds.
Congratulations. That's got to
Thank
feel
you.
good.
It feels really good.
And can you tell us how you did that?
Well, I followed the program. It's amazing what happens when you just do what your dad suggests.
All right. Hi, Beth. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. I just have
Hi,
a few
Heather, you're
questions.
welcome.
My main question, we've met before, and so it's always nice to check in with you and see how you're doing. I'd love to hear how your life has changed since you've adopted a plant-based lifestyle.
Well, I would say that the first really obvious change that has happened, I am, in addition to just being a slender, normal weight now, that's kind of an obvious change that everyone comments on when they see me. And, for those people who haven't seen me since before, that's a big one. But also, as a result of all these changes and the weight loss and just my body feeling so much better, I'm leading a much, much more active life than I used to. And I can't even list off everything I'm doing, but somehow I'm busy all day long.
I love that.
I don't know how that works.
So can you tell us how much weight that you've lost?
I've lost about 70 pounds.
Congratulations. That's got to
Thank
feel
you.
good.
It feels really good.
And can you tell us how you did that?
Well, I followed the program. It's amazing what happens when you just do what your dad suggests. and the support specialists and Jeff and everybody on the team just doing what they suggested. But I had tried many times before going through the 12-day program to adopt a starch-based diet per Dr. McDougall's direction in the Starch Solution book. And I was just never, I don't know what exactly the missing piece was, but I was never able to just get on it and stay on it consistently. I kept falling off, and especially the pleasure trap. I know there's a lot of debate about whether, is food addiction real or not real, that kind of stuff. But foods that we talk about in the program as being pleasure trap foods, sweets and salty snacks and all that kind of stuff, especially high fat, high sugar, high salt foods. They were just my siren song, and I just could not get away from them and stay on the program. And going through the 12-day program really changed everything for me. I think it was a combination of the education and also all the support, the group accountability, all those things added together allowed me to just get traction. And and I'm on my way. And even now, I really work to stay very close to the plan. I'm not interested in falling off. I'm not interested in gaining weight back. But what's different about this way of eating for me is, even if I do have a day where I choose to eat birthday cake or something like that, I've been able to get right back on track. I don't ever want to play too hard and test too hard on those limits. But it really has become a way of life now to really eat simple, whole, real food. I've done as your dad suggested and found, those handful of meals that I absolutely love. And I have them on repeat most of the time. I can always get more creative if I want to, but I really eat very simply and I love it.
Can you tell us what those favorite meals are?
Well, I just had my very favorite meal right before I zoomed into you. I love potato. Potatoes are my favorite starch. I like the other ones too. I like rice, I like pasta, and I eat all of those as well. But potatoes are my favorites, and that's what I eat more often than anything. I've never met a potato I didn't like, but Japanese sweet potatoes are a favorite for me. And I make what I call my potato waffle, because I remember as a kid going to Waffle House when they'd present you with a waffle and it would just be piled high with all this stuff on top, fruit and whipped cream and syrup and all the above. Well, my potato waffle is my Japanese sweet potato, and I cut it up and lay it out on a plate, warm it up in the microwave a couple minutes. I always have them pre-cooked in the fridge. And then I slice up a banana on top and a bunch of berries on top of that, and cinnamon, and that's my or my potato waffle. So it's fun to be able to eat food like that and stay slim.
I love that. It sounds like you enjoy your food. That's
I
important.
love my food. It's simple food, but I love it.
So how has your relationship with food changed since you've made this switch?
Well, we talked a little bit before about, some of the foods that for me personally, I feel like they were really addictive to me. And I don't feel like I'm being held hostage by those foods anymore. And the foods that I do eat that help me stay slender and helps me lose 70 pounds and all that, I love them so much that other foods aren't as tempting, you know. Before, when I was eating, I guess what I think of now as kind of like diet food, but it was food that I didn't even like, you know. It's really easy for something, some processed sugary high fat thing to seem really tempting when you don't even like the food you're trying to eat. It's like if I never see another dried out chicken breast for the rest of my natural life, it'll be too soon. So, that's kind of a classic example though of when that's what you have to look forward to, a dried out chicken breast. Well, of course Oreos look good, but when I can think to myself, do I really want to eat that, or do I want to just go home and have my sweet potato waffle?
You don't deprive yourself or portion control or count calories?
No, and that's amazing too. I'm glad you brought that up because sometimes I forget that part. But what's so freeing is that I didn't track a single calorie, a macro, a point, nothing. All the way down from my high weight to my weight now. And it's really kind of interesting. My local doctor asked me recently to track some meals so that I could report back to her some, how much calcium I was getting and a couple of questions like that. And so I try to like track some food in a tracking app so that I could answer those questions. And it was like this painful experience. And honestly, I don't even think I did it very well. It was so hard to be thorough, so hard to figure out, well, I just ate something that was a recipe and I don't know how much of this and that was in it, and so being able to set all those kinds of things aside and not have to worry about tracking or counting or anything. I try to be aware of my hunger cues and my fullness cues, within my body. So I'm learning how to better, assess and judge that internally, which is how it's supposed to be, rather than relying on external things like the, years of trying to diet. Kind of puts us in a position of relying on external cues. And this is so much better. First of all, it works. I don't know about other people, but dieting never worked for me.
No, I just tell people eat when you're hungry and until you're comfortably full.
Yeah.
Don't make it complicated.
Took a while to kind of trust that process, after years of different conditioning, but it's wonderful.
So is there anything you want to share before we wrap up?
Oh, Heather, we've probably hit the high points, but I just want to say thank you to you and to the entire team that you've put together. Thank you for what you've done for me and what you do for so many other people. And if there's ever any way I can help you spread the word, I am more than happy to.
You are doing that just by being you. So thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
I appreciate your time, Beth.
You're very welcome.
See you in a few days.
Yes, I will see you soon. Have a good rest of the day.
You. Bye.